there, Aquarius. My name is Chris, and I'm going to be doing your reading for May. So this is a new channel, and I'm just starting out doing readings for people actually on YouTube now. So I use playing cards, for those of you that don't know, and I read them very differently than most people. I have different meanings for all of the cards, so just know that ahead of time that, if you listen to somebody else who does playing cards, the meanings might not be the same for each card. So just know that ahead of time. If you like a personal reading, I'm not really necessarily doing personal readings, over the internet right now, but you can always email me. I'll put my email below, and if enough people want it, then I'll definitely start doing personal readings and things like that. So let's get right into May, because May looks really good. It looks good, great for a lot of people. I feel like it's definitely going to be really great for a lot of people. Coming up in your past position, you have the Ten of Spades, and so the Ten of Spades to me is a lot like, maybe like the Ten of Wands, or whatever in tarot. Like I said, I don't really usually read tarot cards. I just like my playing cards. Um, and the Ten of Spades tells me that, you've really had a tough time in the past, and maybe for a long time. And I know this is true for some of the other signs out there. They've been having a really hard time. But you in particular, it definitely seems like maybe even the past 3 months or so have been really difficult, maybe since the beginning of the year. Maybe even for a lot longer. You've been carrying a burden. You've been having a tough time, but to me this card also signifies kind of like an ending. So it's the ending of this. So maybe you've been feeling a lot better in April. Maybe you've kind of been coming out of it, and you can. I feel like a lot of you can probably sense this. Like I know that a lot of you. I'm picking up on that. That a lot of you can sense that you're coming out of it. You can actually almost kind of see the other side, if you will, that things are getting better. But I know particularly it's been difficult for a lot of people. And then coming out in the present, so I'd say about the beginning of May, you're definitely coming out of it. You got the Six of Diamonds, and six is a very harmonious number when you think about it. If you look at this card, actually, you can see that it's 3 and 3, and everything's lined up. And that's kind of the way that I look at six, is like things are lining up, but it can also be kind of like a separation. And the good news is that in your reading, I feel like it's a separation from the past, from this Ten of Spades, where you're maybe having a really difficult time, with everything. I feel like it's work. I feel like a lot of you have been having work issues, maybe just trying to get a job. You've probably been having a hard time if some of you are unemployed. If you own your own business, some of you may have been having problems in your business. I'm definitely picking up on that. The ten in this hand. I'm sorry, I'm reversed on my camera here. The 10 can definitely indicate maybe some business type issues. There are a couple other business cards here that I'm going to show you in a second. But like I said, I think the Six of Diamonds, you're kind of in the beginning, you're separating from those issues. You're definitely feeling a lot better, maybe, and things are kind of more going your way. And then towards the end, maybe the second half of the month, we have the Eight of Diamonds. This is a very good card. Eight is definitely, eight is my personal number of abundance. Anytime I see an eight, I think of it as an infinity symbol. Because if you hold an eight sideways, you can see there it looks like infinity. So it's kind of like, you think of this as the flow. So the flow is definitely going to be coming back to you. Things are going to start flowing back into your life. And if you have been unemployed or having a hard time getting a job, you could definitely receive a job offer around this time, maybe more towards the end of the month. If your business has been struggling, personally, I think if your business has been struggling, you'll start seeing signs in the beginning of May for sure. I'm not an astrologer. I don't really, I watch a lot of astrology, but I personally don't know a lot about astrology. But I know that there's a lot going on this month of May in the stars. However, and some of those things are supposed to be challenging, but I just don't necessarily think. I think if you've been drawn to this video and you're watching this video, those things are not going to be really affecting you. If they are, they'll be very minor. So again, yeah, I think if you've been having a hard time getting a job or something like that, you're not going to. And I think the flow, I really feel like the flow is returning back to your life. That's what this 8 kind of means to me. So normally I only do a 3-card spread, but 2 other cards popped out and I thought that they were very relevant to your reading. The first one being the Ace of Spades, New Beginnings. I mean, this is kind of like the death card, if you will. It's not my death card in the playing cards, but the Ace of Spades can definitely, excuse me, be like a new beginning. It's kind of like you're leaving something behind. I feel like this is in the past. This is not going on right now. Some people would probably, other people who read playing cards would maybe say that this is a negative card. I don't believe positive, negative. I think everything, has to happen, no matter how bad it is. And that's kind of what this card to me is. The Ace of Spades is almost like, I think it was Steve Jobs who said, looking forward in your life, if you're trying to connect the dots on where you want to end up, you can't do it because you can't see really into the future. Not even somebody who reads cards or is psychic or anything like that. They can't even really see the future, and they can't connect the dots for you. It's only when you look back at your path and you look back at what happened in your life that you can really connect the dots and really kind of figure out where your life needed to be. And I feel like that's what this is. I feel like you're going to be looking back. This is in the past, and you're going to be saying, wow, I never thought that because these things that I thought were horrible, maybe that were happening for the past months or years even. I feel like a lot of people I talked to have been stuck for years and a long time trapped. I think that you'll look back now in May, and I specifically think it's because of this card. And I think you'll be saying to yourself, wow, I could have never imagined that this would have happened because, I mean, looking forward, I would have never known that this was going to happen. But now looking back, I'm just like, I can't believe it. So that's this card. The other card is you have the Five of Hearts, which is kind of, excuse me, the Five of Hearts is kind of like a very karmic card, if you will. Five is kind of like a karmic number. And it's one of those cards where you're like, it's almost like you're looking back, and that's kind of what I was saying with with the Ace of Spades, is that you're like looking back on these things that were, maybe happening with you, and maybe you were like dissatisfied with your life, or, I mean, I don't want to say that you were dissatisfied, but maybe you were. You're definitely having problems and things like that. But again, this is looking back. Um, the other thing that this card can mean is it can mean kind of like jealousy, that, maybe people were jealous of your situation or you experienced some of these things. So, maybe somebody, said something to you in the past. This is definitely in the past. Again, this is definitely in the past. Maybe somebody said something in the past that really upset you, but it was all jealousy. I feel like a lot of things, again, with this 8, to kind of wrap up this reading, I feel like things are coming back to you. So, sometimes I see, like, when I see these two cards together, it's almost like somebody said something to you or somebody did something to you in the past, and it kind of, turned you off, to doing something. Like, you ever, like, do something and somebody makes you feel guilty for it or something like that? That's almost what this card is. And then it kind of turns you off. You kind of get a little, feeling, and really people should ignore those feelings because it's just jealousy. And I feel like maybe you're coming back to, a past potential business idea or something like that, or a job, and you're going to be coming back to it. It's coming back to you. Energy's flowing back. So all in all, Aquarius, looks like a great month. I think May is going to be a great month. I think it's a turning point for a lot of people, not just you guys. So thank you for watching this video. Definitely let me know what you think below in the comments.